In the name of the risen Christ, Amen. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark. Resurrection happens in the darkness. It must happen in the darkness because without it, there is no light. Light and dark, seeing and unseeing, are not only important themes throughout all of the scriptures, but especially on this day. Light and darkness, seeing and unseeing. Just as this candle is a metaphor for another kind of light. The light and the darkness, the seeing and the unseeing, is a metaphor for transformed lives. From lives that are lived in darkness to lives that are lived in light. For lives that cannot see to lives that are illuminated. If you were here on Good Friday, you would have heard me talk a little bit about the cross as the antivenin for a poisoned world. That on the cross, Jesus takes a symbol, the cross, the symbol of death and oppression, and transforms it like you will for a poison from a snake into something that brings healing and wholeness, from a symbol of death and oppression to one of life and liberation. But it is still possible to be poisoned by something and have an antivenin administered and to still die. So there is something else required in this equation. The resurrection is the mystical result of a totally recovered human being, of a totally healed human being, of a totally transformed human being. In the resurrected person, there is something different. We hear in the Gospel how Mary Magdalene engages this stranger in the garden, not knowing that it is Jesus. Jesus is the same, but different. She doesn't recognise him until he says her name, Mary. He is the same, but different. If we have been drawn into the mystery of the lifted up one, Jesus says, when I am lifted up, I will draw all people to myself. If we have been allowed ourselves to be drawn into the transforming mystery that is the cross, if we have allowed that transforming mystery to change us, we will be the same, but different. There'll be something about us that is just not quite what it used to be. There'll be something about us that people don't really quite recognise until we do or say something. There'll be something in us that is changed as individuals and as a community. If we are to proclaim Christ is risen, we are proclaiming that we are somehow different. We are the same but different. And we do that in our same context. We are told that the disciples returned to their homes. The resurrection appearances throughout the Gospels don't happen in the temple. They happen in the ordinary places of life, in people's homes, in their workplaces, beside the Sea of Galilee, where they've gone back to work, they've gone back to fishing. Resurrection happens in our everyday lives where we are the same but different. Former Archbishop of Canterbury, Archbishop Rowan Williams, says, "There is no hope of understanding the resurrection outside of renewed humanity. A humanity renewed in forgiveness. We are all agreed," he says, "that the empty tomb means nothing, and no amount of apparitions mean anything either, apart from the testimony of forgiven lives communicating forgiveness." That's where the resurrection is seen, in forgiven lives communicating forgiveness, in forgiven communities communicating forgiveness, in communities just like St Luke's Wallsend, who everybody recognises. But as this community goes out on this day, if we have celebrated the resurrection, the reality of the resurrection, if we have been drawn into the mystical transforming power of the cross, then we will be the same. We'll still be St Luke's Wallsend, but we will be different. Do others have to do a double take when they see us as individuals, when they see us as community? Do they have to do a double take, just like Mary did in the garden? Hang about. That's Jesus. Will there be something in our lives today that says, hang about, that person has been to St Luke's this morning. There is something different about them. If that's not true for you, then I invite you to go back a couple of days, to go back and to sit and allow yourself to be drawn into the transforming mystery of the cross, to allow whatever poison is in your life to be taken and transformed and given back to you as something that is life-giving and transforming and liberating. And then allow that transformation to rise up within you. And as we shout the Easter proclamation, can we not only say that Christ is risen, but mean that Christ is risen in me? And Alleluia is my song. The Lord be with you.